Northern Comfort. We're going to have guests all throughout the day today, and my first guest is fitting because it's our studio partner, our exclusive studio partner, and that is Heritage Hill Brewhouse in Heritage Hill North, and we have Victoria Mattarell here with me. Victoria, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dan?
Very good. So they call you Dan Jr. for
Yes,
Dan
they
Palladino.
do. Yes,
so
they do.
what is it about you and Dan that is so similar?
I don't know. Luckily, Dan and I have a pretty good relationship. We see eye to eye on a lot of things, which, makes running a business and two businesses now, much easier. But we have a lot of similar characteristics. So.
Why Heritage Hill? Why get connected with them a few years ago?
I actually, I was right after college. I was looking to, get back into the restaurant industry after being out of it for a few months, and Heritage Hill was hiring, so I wanted to check it out. Kind of started just as a server and worked my way up, but it all ended up working out. I became a manager 6 months after, and just from there it's grown, and the business has grown, and my role has grown. So,
And for you, when you look at the connection that you've had with Dan and everything that you've had over the years with Heritage Hill and being up at the Brewhouse, it's such an experience out there, at least for me.
It is.
You're out in Pompey, you see nature, you see like the beauty of central and upstate New York.
Yeah.
And you really get a feel for it because obviously Palladino farms and caring so much about creating in the community and then bringing it over to the Brewhouse. When you're there, I know you're in the hustle and bustle of stuff, but do you think about the fact we're creating things here, there's a farm here, and then we're transferring it right over and selling it to the people in the community we're creating it?
Right. Yeah. It's actually such a cool experience just for all those reasons you just listed. I mean, just the connection to the farm and to the brewery, and then we put it right back into the restaurant and everything like that. We had a really cool opportunity to host some charity fundraisers and a lot of corporate events and really connect with our community. So it's given us a lot back for those reasons.
And like you said, being able to give back to the community, what type of things do you do throughout the year that have maybe become homestay things, like things that you're continuously going to do in the community?
Yeah, so as far as that, we host the annual David's Refuge event fundraiser. Most recently, we've held Challengers Baseball. But we have a few annual events that we host every year that, connects us to our community, and they've just become, kind of a part of us over the years. And
so now Heritage Hill North becomes a reality.
Right.
And right like 10 minutes away from where I grew up, 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse. That opening, why do you feel like it was so important to have something outside of Pompey, closer to Syracuse? It's right by the airport. Why was that so important?
I think it's just important because, we're reaching a different demographic. We're reaching more people. People, you're like, oh, we're out in Pompey, and a lot of people really they still don't know where that is. So, you say you're right outside of Jamesville, but, I just think it was important to us to reach, more people. We've connected with so many more people. We've had the opportunity to meet someone the other day that, wants to host a charity fundraiser for the ball fields out there, for Cicero North Syracuse ball field. So, we're just reaching so many more people that, if you're not willing to drive out to Pompey or, all the way out there, we've, connected to people that are right in the city or near the city.
I got to be a part of the ribbon cutting, which is really cool, and I've never been a part of a ribbon cutting before, and Dan was so gracious, Dan Palladino, of including our partnership beginning on the day of the grand opening and the ribbon cutting. I have to ask you, though, about the pizza choices, the flatbread, because I don't know if you noticed, hopefully you didn't, but I went back to the same table like 4 times. What's the one with the balsamic glaze on it?
The goat flatbread.
The goat. So what is in the goat?
Yeah, so it's got a garlic oil base.
Okay.
And then it's got mixed vegetables, so zucchini, squash, and a couple other ones mixed in garlic and oil in there. And then it's got feta cheese and balsamic glaze and hot honey.
Yeah, and the hot honey, that's a staple, right? And I know that you have hot honey on one of the pizzas already there. There's another one that was kind of tested last week or amongst the grand opening, and that was the street corn one.
Yeah.
Tell us what's in that one.
Yeah. So today we're gonna do today and tomorrow we're gonna do a street corn pizza for our Cinco de Derby party, and it's gonna have crema fraiche right on the bottom. It's gonna have roasted corn, little chipotle seasoning, mozzarella cheese, and so a little lime over top. But
yeah, and like you said, there's the Cinco de Derby thing going on because we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo and the Kentucky Derby at the same time.
Yep.
So if people come over today, Saturday, May 4th, and Sunday, May 5th, to Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, what type of experience are they going to have?
yeah, so we're doing biggest hat contest. If the bartenders deem you to have the biggest hat, you get a $25 gift card. We're doing margaritas. We're doing mint juleps, which is a staple of the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And we're looking to have a good time. So.
Yeah, the mint julep. Have you had a mint julep?
Yeah,
Okay.
we tested them the other day.
Okay. So, to someone who's never had a mint julep, how would you describe what that drink is? Because that is like the signature of the Kentucky Derby.
Right. It's good. To me, it's refreshing. It's light, but I think you definitely have to like bourbon, which unfortunately I don't. But it's good. It's good.
So, the Cinco de Derby, right after the grand opening, we get to have this right away. Just how exciting it's been over there these last few days since you've had the grand opening.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. Actually, I think, we did a couple weeks of just soft opening, and we were open, but, I think once we did the official grand opening, a lot more people, knew we were open. So we've been, busy and cranking, which is all good stuff, but, I think a lot more people know we're open now.
Do you get the regular or the familiar face from Pompey? Have you gotten some people to come down?
Yeah, it's actually happened a few times. And we know people from Pompey, and now they're coming to North Syracuse because it's obviously closer for them. But I was in Pompey last night, and this guy's looking at me, and he was like, "I just saw you yesterday," and I was like, "Oh yeah, like it's cool." You see people, they're coming to North Syracuse, and they're still coming to Pompey. So it's fun to see regulars at both places now.
So in our exclusive studio partnership with Heritage Hill Brewhouse and Heritage Hill North, we're going to be on site on location a couple times a month at Heritage Hill North. We're doing our exclusive CNS North Star show only at Heritage Hill North. We had one before the grand opening during the soft opening with the CNS boys lacrosse team. Just what that means to you to know that right down the road, CNS is there, the North Stars are there, and for years I've looked for a home for them. We didn't have a local home that made sense, and we just kept looking, and then Dan Palladino decides to come to town, and it's a perfect marriage there. What does it mean to you that we're going to be able to spotlight the North Stars and connect with CNS all the time, all throughout the year?
Yeah, we love that. Dan's got boys that are, high school age, and, Dan's such a big sports fan. We're all big sports fans up there. So being able to connect, on the local level to, CNS, and, we have so many great connections with FM and Fabius Pompey out there. But it's going to be really cool to be able to connect with CNS schools and all their sports teams, at our North location.
So before I let you go, we do a thing called Rapid Fire, where we get to put each other on the hot seat. It could be about anything in the world. We don't prep this in advance. It could be food, music, movies, Syracuse stuff, Pompey stuff. It could be anything at all.
Okay.
And it's no pressure. We're just live to the people at Clinton Square, and we're live online to the world on Facebook as well as on YouTube, both.com/WakeUpCallDT. You get to ask me the first question, Victoria. What do you got for me?
What's your go-to food spot?
Go-to food spot?
In Syracuse.
In Syracuse. I work with so many. I guess if we're picking strictly Syracuse, it gets me out of trouble with North Syracuse, Liverpool, Beeville. I'm going to say a place that doesn't exist anymore that I grew up with, and I think about them all the time, and now it's just like a grass lot, was Anna Maria's.
Okay.
That was on Court Street. Anna Maria, she was the owner. She was there all the time, and right after church, we go there for Sunday breakfast, and she had these square lollipops. No one's ever had these flavors. I don't know where she got them, but she would always pick one out for me, and she would just find the best of the best. Her pancakes were awesome, and it just became I want to choose that place for my pastime because it was a home for my mom and my dad, as well as my mom's parents, and my grandfather passed away when I was 6, so being there with him meant a lot. And my grandmother, we would eat in the back, and then we would come to the front, and it took her about 45 minutes to leave because she knew everybody.
Yeah.
So she was like the mayor of Syracuse. So I'm going to go with a throwback, and I'm going to choose Anna Maria's.
Okay, that's awesome.
All right, Victoria, I'm going to throw this at you.
All right.
Being here in North Syracuse now, where is your favorite go-to spot in Central New York?
In Central New York?
Yeah, any of Central New York.
I don't know. I have to go back to what I always suggest to go here for dinner, but Brick and Brew in Cicero.
Okay, all right.
I love Brick and Brew.
There's some good
Kathy's
stuff
great,
there.
And, I always like their service, and everything's always spot on.
What do you get when you go there?
The Vincino's Pizza.
The Vincino's Pizza?
I don't know. I think that's a little underrated in this area. I think
Okay.
they have some of the best pizza in this area.
I know that I went
It
there.
could be an unpopular opinion, but
When they first opened, I can honestly say the food, I went in there, it was really good.
Yeah.
And I met Kathy and really appreciated that. I'm happy that they, like so many, navigated through COVID
Right.
because they weren't that old when it happened. So,
Right.
yeah, Brick and Brew.
Yeah.
I'm not against that pick.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it might be my unpopular opinion, but
All right.
I'll
okay.
stand strong with that one.
What's your next one for me?
Syracuse football. What are your thoughts for next season?
Well,
I've heard a lot, going on
yeah,
with it. So
I think what it's going to come down to is, can the veteran blue collar guys mix with the transfers and mix with the true freshmen?
Right.
Can they all come together in this world of NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff?
right.
I like Fran Brown. I will say this, and anybody that's watched or listened to the show for the last decade knows this, and Rob Drummond, who I know is out there right now flying, and or else he'd be here, so shout out to Rob. Him and I talk so much about what's important in our opinion. And what's been important for us the whole time we've known each other, and probably before that, was recruiting locally and re-engaging with the alumni and making the alumni an important piece. So the alumni have been on the show for at least a decade. We've had Lord knows how many on here, and from all different pieces of history, wins, losses, championship teams that didn't win a lot. And it was just crucial to me that we had a coach that actually cared about alumni. And when Fran came in and we did that introductory press conference, I asked him that question, and I said, Fran, I said, there's some alumni in the room right now, there's some watching, what do you want to say to them? And he looked right into the camera and he said, come out, I want to see you. Like, I want you to be a part of this. I want you to engage. He wanted that. He goes, yes, I want your money, but I want you to physically be there. And he said, if you come to practice and you're a part of practice, you can come in my office and say whatever you want. He's like, if you don't come to practice, then you know what it is. Like, don't say anything.
Right.
And then recruiting locally, he's taken 3 of my guys from Christian Brothers Academy, my alma mater, and he took 1 guy from CNS here recently. So, I mean, I have nothing but happy thoughts right now as far as keeping local, caring about the 5 to 6 hour radius, engaging with the alumni that I know they've already felt that. So, I mean, I'm hopeful with Fran. I feel like 8 wins is fair this
We
year.
were just having that conversation the other
So
day.
I feel like 8 is fair. I know that the like Garrett Schrader had said, he said the schedule on paper is kind to us.
Right.
There's certain teams we don't have to play in the ACC. So, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm happy. I may very well, and I'll give you a little taste here, Victoria and to Heritage Hill, our studio partner, y'all might want to pay attention to the show within the next couple weeks, is what I'll say.
Okay.
So, all right, Victoria, my question for you. If you had to choose, so are you more football, basketball?
I'm a little bit of both. Probably more basketball, though.
All right. If you had to put together a Syracuse starting 5 all time, which guys would you
Man,
want?
you're putting me on the spot.
I'll put you on the spot. Yeah.
I don't know. Carmelo Anthony.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple easy answers.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest.
There's another one that's easy.
Oh.
Starts with Jerry and ends with McNamara.
Yeah, Jerry McNamara. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Yeah, that's hard. I don't know.
So I'll tell you, if I had to do it, John Wallace is my favorite player of all time.
Okay, yeah.
So I'd have John Wallace at power forward. I'd have Carmelo at small forward. I'd have Jerry at point guard. I don't know. I probably have to I'd want Michael Carter Williams, so I might have to put him at shooting guard.
Yeah, I like Michael Carter.
And then either Derek Coleman or, Billy inside. Probably Derek.
Okay.
So I do that.
Okay.
So because I helped you with that answer, I'm going to get a different second one for you.
Okay.
Do you have a most memorable Syracuse game that you went to?
Yeah, so I was actually at the game. That was my first year at Syracuse when Syracuse beat Clemson in the Dome.
Okay.
I think it was 2017.
Yeah. A few years ago.
That's definitely my most memorable. They all stormed the fields and.
Did you storm?
No.
Okay.
I was with my parents. No, it was for Parents Weekend, and I was like, But no, that was definitely memorable to be there for that.
All right. I like it. I know a lot of fans like that as well. Final question for me.
Final. What are you most excited for about today?
You know what?
Weather seems to be okay. I mean.
Yeah. I said a prayer before we got here today that God would help this weather to stay good to us.
Yeah.
I believe it will.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this is my city.
Right.
So, being here at Clinton Square, I will tell you that I don't know how to skate,
Okay.
but I kind of know how to skate. And so obviously this is ice in the winter. And I had a really funny story about a really bad date that I had right here. And this girl was making fun of me and she's kind of picking on me, and she had 2 kids, or has 2 kids. So she had her daughter who's older and her son. And so she was trying to razz everybody, and she was trying to kind of make fun of people, keep people on their toes. And there's a plexiglass barrier that comes around here. And she went to get her daughter, and her daughter saw her and moved her out of the way. And she went flying toward the plexiglass, went sideways, hit it, and dropped straight down, like you would see in a skit.
Yeah, right.
And I know people are like, "You're a terrible person for thinking this is funny," but she laid on the ground, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, is she okay?" And then she was like, she just popped up, and I laughed to the point where she thought it was too much, so I skated away. But that's the last time I skated on this rink, was during that wonderful Saturday Night Live skit. But I would say what I'm most excited about, when I look around, this is my city, born and raised on the north side and 10 minutes away, and I came back here to start my business. My business will turn 12 years old in July, and I love Syracuse with all my heart and then some. And on top of that, Lieutenant Michael Husak and Michael Jensen, honoring them and physically being in the city right now and looking around at these buildings that I've seen my whole life, and just knowing my dad worked downtown, my grandmother's worked downtown. I feel like I'm home, and I hope that people today, as we walk through these streets of Syracuse, remember how incredible it is to have the law enforcement we have, the protection we have, that we honor the lives of Michael Husak and Michael Jensen and their families, and that we honor the lives of those that passed away that's helped to make this Crawfish Festival what it is, and that we're just proud Syracusans. My blue-collar town, I always say I use the line from Macklemore where he says, "I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me." So that's how I feel about Cuse. So I love Syracuse very much. All right, my last question for you, Victoria. I'm going to go, do you watch movies? No?
Don't go to movies,
Okay, music. Can we go to music? No? What's your hobby? What do you like? Because I'm going to ask you a question off of that.
All right, it's mostly sports. I got to be honest.
Okay, mostly sports.
Music and movies.
So you got an NFL team?
I'm more I just like the NFL. I don't have a specific team. I just like, watching football,
All right, so let me go here. If you had to go on any NFL team, I know you said you're more player, but if you had to play on an NFL team today, and you're the wide receiver, I want you to tell me the team and pick your quarterback.
Tell me the team and pick my quarterback.
Yeah, I feel like quarterback's an easy one to dial up here.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like quarterback. If I was a wide receiver.
If you were a wide receiver, what team and what quarterback? You can say Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. I won't be mad at that.
I don't know. I have to feel like I have to stick to my home roots and go with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
All right, well, they do need a wide receiver, Victoria.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I could be next in line there.
Yeah, I feel like behind Shakir, it's a wide open race.
Right.
Maybe Keon Coleman, the guy that they drafted at the top of the second round, 33rd overall.
Right.
We'll see. I still think they need to make a play for T. Higgins, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, but we know that Heritage Hill North and the Brewhouse are going to be playing Bills games, obviously, on weekends and getting you out there. So you get the final word. What do you want to say about Heritage Hill Brewhouse, Heritage Hill North, our proud exclusive studio partner on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora? We only choose one, and I wanted Heritage Hill, and I'm happy that Dan and the team that we're going to be working together a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, we're excited. We're excited for the season. We just kind of turned the corner. We're excited to have you guys out in North Syracuse. We're excited to see you out in Pompey. We have a ton of exciting stuff happening out in Pompey this year. We're going to step up our festival game. We're going to do a strawberry festival, potato festival.
Nice.
We're going to have a country festival June 1st. We had a really good, successful craft fair last November and December, so we're going to host another one of those this summer. We just have a lot of exciting stuff, happening between our connections with sports and our communities. So we got a lot going on.
A lot of good stuff coming up. Heritage Hill Brewhouse in Pompey. You can also find Heritage Hill North right there on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse. And of course, when you're going to and from Syracuse, you can find inside of the Syracuse Hancock International Airport, Palladino Farms. For Victoria Mattarell, myself, Dan Tortora, this is Wake Up Call live on site, on location, with our exclusive studio partner, Heritage Hill Brewhouse and Heritage Hill North. We'll be at the Syracuse Crawfish Fest here at Clinton Square all day until they're done, right here in my hometown. And we'll be back. Our next live broadcast will feature GG Cards and Breaks. The 639 Delmar Place, Syracuse, New York location is where you can find them 7 days a week. And we'll be with owner Josh Gideon doing a live box break and a giveaway. So Sports Cards is up next. Victoria, thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.